Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've been getting a lot of comments about a video I posted a while ago on my fibromyalgia and my fibro journey. I haven't posted in a while if you guys haven't already noticed, but it's been on my mind for a while to post about it. So much has happened since I've posted those videos. And I knew it was going to be like a long drawn out video, so just a heads up, this might be a long one, but I will try to make it as quick and painful as possible. Those of you that have commented, I hope I answered all of your questions. I hope I responded in a good amount of time and I didn't take too long. I tried to check my YouTube daily for comments. Couple I came across today, right, that I've been getting for a while are like managing my fibro when I'm trying to drive home and I'm having a flare up, like my energy level is plummeting. Now it's been almost a year, you guys. It's been almost a year that I've had fibro symptoms. I've never been happier. I'm like gonna cry right now. I'm like trying to hold it in. I've never been happier. I've never been saner. I've never been prouder. I'm not saying that this is gonna work for everybody. I'm not a doctor. I cannot diagnose you. I cannot give you a regimen or any of that good stuff. I am just here to share my experience of what I did, what I tried, what has worked for me, and what I've been through. Now, as far as driving, when I was having a fibro flare-up, it's tough because I would feel like I'm falling asleep. Mind you, I'm driving, so that's like super dangerous, but I gotta get home. And by that point at work, I already felt like my energy was already going down and going down fast. And so trying to keep myself up, I did whatever it took. I turned on the radio, make it loud. I chew gum if I had gum, roll down the windows, but it really just felt like I could fall asleep while I was driving. And it's so scary. If you're experiencing this and you feel like you absolutely cannot drive, I highly recommend just pull over. Someplace safe, of course. You don't want to be somewhere dangerous on like a major freeway or a place where people, there's a lot of accidents that happen. You don't want to do that. So pull over somewhere safe. If you have to call a family member, do that to help you stay up, or call a family member to pick you up and to drive you, and leave your car if you have to. Do whatever it takes to keep yourself safe, okay? You're not crazy. This happens to a lot of us. Not all of us, but a lot of us experience this whole plummet in energy and like not being able or barely being able to drive home, okay? You're not crazy, okay? That was first. Secondly, another point came up is about pain management or pain meds. Now, when I saw, I am very, let me rewind. I like to take the holistic route and the natural route as much as possible, because literally we are organic like entities. Our body is made of water and, you know, plant material, and I try to keep it as natural as possible, in short. So when I first saw my rheumatologist, when I needed to get my diagnosis, and I only got the diagnosis so I could confirm I wasn't crazy, because I was like, dude, like I'm in pain every day. I get days where I can't get out of bed, my energy plummets, I feel like crap, I'm achy, my muscles are tight. And so I really saw my rheumatologist just to get my diagnosis. I got that. And I told him straight up, I said, look, I'm not here to get medication. I'm not here to be medicated. I don't want any of that stuff. I try to take the natural route. And what can you suggest natural that I can do that's going to help me live a, I don't want to say pain-free, because at that point I kind of got over the fact that I would ever be pain-free again. Manage my pain and or make my life, what is the word I'm looking for? Just live a life that was as pain managed as possible. What is the word I'm looking for? Quality of life. Okay, that's the words I was looking for. I wanted quality of life. And so he gave me some suggestions and told me, you know what, as soon as I told him I didn't want medication, he was like, you know what, I like you. And I was like, explain. And he said, he was an older gentleman as well, like maybe 5 to 6 years from retirement. He was like super close to retiring. He said, in all of my years of practice and all the studies I've read and trials and all these things, pain medication does little to nothing. Point blank, period. He was very blunt. I loved him. And then he also said, pain medication causes more long-term effects as far as symptoms go, because with medication comes side effects, comes symptoms. Also, it's not natural. A lot of it is chemically based. And so he said, honestly, I wouldn't recommend any pain medication anyway. So I said, okay, cool, good to go. I got my diagnosis and I'm out of here. And there was one time when I called a doctor here in Washington State, because that was in Hawaii where I did my diagnosis. I came here and there was one time where the pain was so unmanageable that I was like, what can I use? Like, what can I do at this point? And so the doctors prescribed something and I never picked it up. I called my sister who has lupus and she said, look, I took that medication at one point. She's like, don't get it. Don't pick it up. Don't get it. It'll make you feel crazy. It'll do this. It'll do that. Yes, to each its own. And everybody's bodies are different. But my sister was like, don't do it. So I never picked it up. I never went to go and get it. And I just kind of left it at that. Now, my journey here. So when I came here, I selected a certain medical coverage to cover that covered naturopathic care. So I got that medical coverage here, and my goal was to go and see a naturopath doctor and see what they recommend. And this is, I'm still on my timeline, okay, from back home when I moved here about 4 years ago. And I saw the naturopath, freaking love him. He did all his things and his recommendations, and he gave me what is called a tincture. And a tincture is where you use a solvent. So a solvent can be vegetable glycerin. It can be a high concentration of alcohol, so like vodka or vinegar. It could be any type of those with plant material. So it can be leaves, it can be roots, it can be bark, it can be flowers, it can be all kinds of things. They take these materials, they soak it in the solvent, and the solvent will extract all of the good healing properties. A lot of what our bodies cannot naturally do if we consume these materials. So for instance, turmeric, just throwing one out there, right? If you do a tincture of turmeric, it'll pull out a lot more healing properties than what your body can naturally extract on its own. So tinctures are amazing. It also concentrates it. So it gives you what the plant material can do, but in a concentrated formula. And long story short, he gave me this tincture based upon my symptoms and the symptoms I wanted him to help me with, like the ones that were the worst. I took this tincture maybe about, I don't know, I want to say a week or two. It's been a while. A week or two. And I didn't even realize it, but my symptoms were gone. And one day I called my husband. I was like, babe, my pain is gone. And he was like, that's amazing, babe. That's awesome. And I was like, I didn't even realize it. Like, I actually feel normal. Okay. So then I took this tincture for a few months. Like I said, it took the pain away. Most of my symptoms were gone. Every once in a while, I would still get flare-ups. Every once in a while. Now, before taking the tincture, my flare-ups were at least once a month. Sometimes more than once a month, like 2 or 3 times a month. Very rarely, of course. But I was good for about a year and a half after stopping taking the tincture. And then my pain slowly started to come back. what I also added when I took the tincture was I changed my diet, right? I've been on a healthier, cleaner diet, or at least trying to adapt my life to it from when I was living back in Hawaii. So this is like 6 years ago. I started implementing little changes, like less processed foods, nothing with dyes, nothing with preservatives, nothing with, things like that, like fake additives to food. I would just do whole foods or just food, period. I try to incorporate more, made better, smarter choices with food. Now, when I was starting with my naturopath, he was telling me, because at one point I couldn't tolerate meat. My body couldn't digest meat. I was getting sick to my stomach, literally feeling ill and nauseous when I would eat meat. This is back in Hawaii. So when I came here, I told my naturopath, like, okay, that was an issue at one point. I'm okay-ish right now. And so he made suggestions, like, I already was doing it, right? Taking out processed foods, eating more whole foods. He even suggested like grass-fed meat. So he said, cows that eat grass, right? That is literally what they're supposed to be eating. It's 100% natural for cows to eat grass and not wheat and not corn. And so he said, the idea is find a good place to buy 100% grass-fed meat, 100% now, which means from cradle to grave, or I guess that's not a good way to put it, but from birth to slaughter, they only eat grass. They're only given antibiotics if they need. They're not pumped full of chemicals and like inoculations. They're not pumped full of that stuff. These ranchers try to keep the meat as clean and natural as possible. So he said, try to eat as much grass-fed meat as you can. It's expensive, I'm not going to lie, but I will tell you right now, it's probably some of the best, probably the best tasting beef we've ever had in our life. Now we only buy grass-fed cows, and I'll buy it a half a cow at a time. I have videos for that too. I will probably put it up here somewhere for you guys to go and check out. Best investment I've made. Even my family, like, we did a side-by-side comparison, and you can taste the difference, dramatic difference. Like, grain-fed hardly has any flavor, hardly has any taste. You eat a grass-fed steak, the flavor is just incomparable. It's just, go and try it. But he suggested grass-fed meat, and then he was like making little suggestions food-wise that did help. But I really feel like that tincture carried most of the burden of getting rid of my pain. It was amazing. And so fast forward 1.5 years, my pain started to come back. I went back, I got tincture again, and then it went away again. At that point, sorry, I know I'm all over the place. At that point, I finally realized, because I've been the same size since I was in high school, and it's really hard for me to gain weight. And so I was like, you know what? I want to try and put on some weight. Unbeknownst to me, I was putting on unhealthy weight, right? Like drinking wine every day. And instead of using cooking oil, I was using lard or, oh my gosh, beef tallow. Things like that. And I love fat. So I would just add a lot of fat to my dishes. I put on some weight and my pain came back. Okay, after gaining the weight, the pain started to increase. At that point, I ran into a friend. Not ran into, but I was kind of following her for a while. I seen my sister post a post that she is a fitness and nutrition coach, and she was doing a giveaway for her 40th birthday. And I was like, oh, cool, I'll repost it and try to enter it. But then I started to follow her. Okay, at that point, my pain came back. I put on about 25 pounds, and I wasn't loving how I felt. I felt weak, I felt tired, I felt like everything was going south. Okay, I am 40, I'm gonna be 41 this year, but at that time I was 39, gonna be 40, and I was like, I'm not really loving how I feel and how I look. And the fact that I can't carry like a pot, like one of those big, heavy, like gandule rice pots, I couldn't carry those. I was struggling. I was like, I'm freaking 39 years old. How can I not carry this pot? And then it was like a light bulb moment. I'm like, I have little to no muscle. Like, I'm weak as heck. I put on this weight, but now I'm flabby and now I'm weak. Going back to the post, I was like, So I would ask her questions here and there, and like I look into her program and be like, maybe, you know. So I messaged her and I was like, hey, I'm not looking to lose weight because I like the size I am. I worked really hard for this and blah 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 blah. And she was like, I have room on my program if you want to jump on. And I was like, okay, but I have fibromyalgia, I have irritable bowel syndrome, I have chronic fatigue syndrome, I have all these things. Okay, so we got to keep this in mind. I am down to work hard. I was never shy of working hard in my life ever. And where do I go? Because like a lot of people out there, like the gym was scary. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know why I was doing it. Like I didn't understand any of that stuff. So she's like, don't worry about it. That's what my program is for. Any questions you have, you ask me. I plan a workout for you based on your needs, what you want to achieve, your goals, and whatever equipment is in your reach. So if you only have a home gym, I work with what you have. If you have gym membership, I work with that. And on top of that, I'll give you like recipe inspos, and I will kind of teach you about macros and how to plan your food and plan your meals and how to track and weigh your food. Now, it is a rabbit hole of information. It is a lot. I'm not going to lie. I am the type, because I'm ADD as well, I go into rabbit holes on information. So I kind of was just YouTubing, and as I'm working at work, I would be listening to like a podcast or a YouTube video, just listening to information on like understanding macros and understanding fitness and understanding all these things, just so I can better understand why, because that's how my brain works. I want to understand why. And so I was learning with those like podcasts. Of course, it's credible people, right? It's like doctors and not no fitness influencers. It was like real legit fitness people that have degrees and have degrees and experience in the field. I was watching that, and she was like, okay, you ready? I got your plan set up, let's do this. It was scary because I've tried to work out before and I put myself into a flare-up. I've also, another instance I've done, sorry, that's my daughter, she just woke up. Another instance, I worked out, and it was literally one exercise with my husband and my son, and I was out for like 4 or 5 days. I want to say it was more like 5 days where I was in excruciating pain. So starting this exercise and nutrition, fitness and nutrition journey, I was scared. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm so scared. I know I gotta start. And she was like, you'll be okay. I started just walking around the track. Before I even like started her program that she made for me, I would just walk, just walk, okay? To get my body moving again, get my heart rate up, get my brain telling myself, okay, this is, we gotta do this. And you know, cause it is mental. A lot of it is mental. And so after I was doing the track and I was feeling comfortable, then I went to machines at the gym, and I just used the machines with no weight, just to get my body used to the movement. So if the movement was this, then I would go take all the weight off, and I would just do 10 of this, and then next machine 10 of whatever the machine does. And I would go throughout and just do random machines on like one day I would do chest and triceps, one day I do back and biceps, one day I would do legs. Just use the machines and get your body used to the motion. Excuse me. Do it until you feel comfortable enough to do more sets, and then increase. And then when you really feel comfortable and you can do 3 full sets, at least 10 on each machine, then start adding weights. And that's how I started. And then finally, when I was ready to start her program, I was like, okay, let's go. And so she had it tailored. One day was back and bicep, one day was chest and triceps, One day it was legs, one day it was glutes, so on and so forth. However she tailored it for me. She also taught me about nutrition, and you guys, 1,000,000%, nutrition is so important. Not only for like when you exercise and you're trying to build muscle, but just feeling better. I'm trying to capture all of this in words, and it's so hard because until you actually do it, it will start to make sense and you'll be like, oh my god, you're right. But it was slow and gradual. I didn't just jump in the gym and start, banging them weights out. I started slow and gradual, like I said, walking, then using the machines, doing one set, then I added another set. And this is over weeks. I did it very slowly because that 2 times that I gave myself a flare and I was like in pain for 5 days, it kept playing in my mind and I didn't want that to happen again. So I took it really slow. But I cannot stress how important nutrition is. And I mean, the fact that for years I had fibro, I never took medication, I just kind of did it on my own. It started with me changing my food, my diet, and taking out the crap, the junk, the processed food, the dyes, the preservatives, the additives, all of the things that you shouldn't be eating, that we know we shouldn't be eating. Get it out of your diet. Just stop eating it. Okay, the more whole foods you can eat, I promise you, the better you're going to feel. Okay, I haven't had a flare-up. I haven't had pain in almost a year, you guys. A year, because that's how long I have been doing this fitness and nutrition journey. I don't take the tincture anymore, which I know it helped. I absolutely know the tincture made a difference. But since I started working out, like, of course that first beginning phase of when I was doing the walking and I was hurting during those times because my body was still my muscles were still trying to adjust to like the movement and the extra blood flow in the muscles. But I notice now when I don't work out for more than 2 to 3 days, I'm in pain again. I'm in a lot of pain. And so in the beginning, when I was doing the whole, starting to move my body again, I was hurting in that part, but you want to do it slow, you want to do it gradual. And once you get into actually working out, and even when I started then, I did very low weight, low rep, and then I would gradually increase. But the nutrition, again, was so important. Like, because of the food that I eat, my energy has skyrocketed. I'm almost never tired. Almost never. 99% of the time, not tired. I feel amazing. I feel strong. I feel young again. I have no fibro symptoms. Okay? And I totally give it to fitness and nutrition. And the crazy thing is, the doctor that I have now, actually 2 of the doctors that I have now, swear by it. They're like, yeah, that's why we tell fibromyalgia patients to move. They gotta move their body, because unless you move your muscle, not only are you losing muscle mass every year as you age, and a lot of muscle mass, but you need muscle mass to sit in a chair, to stand up, to walk, to pick things up, to carry your kids, to carry your grandkids, to, grab your dog or whatever you want to pick up, put back down. You need those muscles. That is why when you get older, like when you're I don't want to say grandparent, but when you get older, up in age, it's hard for those adults to get out of a chair. Simple things like that. Get out of a chair, sit down, pick something up, stand up. They're always falling. It's because they lack lean muscle mass, guys. Okay. I don't want to be that person. I didn't want to get older, not only with fibro and not wanting to move because the fibro was so painful, but 2, I wanted to be an older person, hopefully a grandma or a tutu. I want to be a tutu that can keep up with my grandkids, that can run with them and play with them and play hide and go seek and go swimming and go jogging and go dancing and go weightlifting with them. I want to be that grandparent. So it is so important to build lean muscle mass for that, just to be able to move and walk and do things as you get older. But it's also linked to like your cognitive health. It's linked to your mental health. It's linked to your gut health. It's linked to so much things that people don't understand. It makes you, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, I feel incredible. I've never felt this strong. I've never felt this healthy. I've never felt this confident. I've never felt so amazing because of this health and nutrition journey. Like I said, my fibromyalgia symptoms are gone, and I plan to work out and lift weights for the rest of my life. Point blank, period. So if you haven't even thought about it, or if you have thought about it, think about it a little bit more, because I promise you, as far as what I've experienced, is nothing but good. I'm not looking back. I'm not regretting anything. What I do regret, actually, I take that back, is that I didn't start earlier. Yes, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready to receive that message, but I really wish I started lifting earlier in life. Regardless, you know what? I'll put some pictures here too and some clips. Regardless, I'm here now and I'm happy, and I hope that this can be a beacon of light for somebody else that has fibro, and to kind of give you that little nudge or that motivation or that light at the end of the tunnel, that there is ways to feel better and to get rid of your fibro symptoms and live a happy life. There are ways. You know, take your time, consult your physician, and probably the most important part was me hiring a fitness and nutrition coach. Like, that was key, because I was trying to do it before that by myself, and I wasn't doing it correctly because I wasn't implementing the nutrition part. I was doing the exercise part, but I wasn't doing the nutrition. And the nutrition supports your weightlifting. It supports your goal. People don't understand how important nutrition is. They're just like, I'm just going to work out and cool, yeah, I'm losing weight, whatever. But then they're not seeing the results that they really want, and it's because their nutrition is not aligned. So nutrition, you guys, not only to support your fitness part of it, but for your fiber part of it. Our guts are messed up. That's what I've learned over the years with having fibro. My gut is not healthy. Well, it is now, but my gut when I first had fibro was terrible, and it needed help. It needed healing. And so now that I'm at where I'm at now, I don't have IBS issues as often. It's maybe 10%, not even 10%. I would say 5% of the time I have IBS issues. But even that, I've kind of taken out a lot of the FODMAP foods. So if you have IBS, they tell you to remove all the FODMAP foods out of your diet. So like garlic, onions, apples, bananas, like a lot. Trust me, it's a lot of delicious foods that I love and I used to eat every day. But now that I've taken it out, it's changed my life. I feel I don't have bowel issues. I don't have digestive issues. I don't have digestional like distress, because I watch what I eat. I exercise. I primarily eat whole foods. Like 99% of my diet is whole foods. I have an Oreo or two here or there. I'll have, bread or ice cream here or there. But 99% of what I consume is whole foods. And because of that, I feel amazing. So don't give up. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I hope there's some kind of information you got from this video. If you guys have questions, just don't forget, just leave it down below. Comment, question, whatever. If you want to see more videos to do with fibro or my journey or how I got here, let me know. Just leave it down below and I will get back to you guys as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys on the next video. Sending you my fibro peeps gentle hugs always. I'll see you on the next video. Ahui ho.